Hi, everybody. This is Tom Maxon, LMT from Profound Therapies. Uh, this is National Stress Awareness Month, the month of April this year. And I wanted to talk a little bit about stress because it gets kind of a bad rap. And it's really important to use stress productively and effectively to get the best results for your body and your mind. If we had zero stress at all, we wouldn't grow, we wouldn't evolve, we wouldn't develop any skills or any abilities physically. We have to have stress to grow. So the secret is using it, harnessing stress in a way that helps us instead of harms us. As with most things, if we get too much, if we are out of balance, we are going to overload our system instead of challenging our system to do something better. So I want to talk about migraines too in that framework of stress. I have a lot of migraine patients who don't know why they get migraines, and then they come get a massage or they get reflexology, or I stretch their neck out and that helps them and they get relief, and then they go home and it just builds up again real fast in a day or two. And migraines can be debilitating. And I have people who come to me who are in the middle of the process and are like, nauseous and they can't function. There's like light sets them off and sound set them off and sense set them off. So to define what stress is, I'm going to say anything that causes a noticeable change in your environment that your body has to react to in some way to understand it. It's more than just the ambient level of stimuli in the environment to your nervous system. And migraines happen when you're over a threshold. You can have a lot of different kinds of stressors in your life that are below a certain point, but once they hit that point, your inflammation response is going to go nuts in your body, and you're going to start having headachy symptoms or tension symptoms in the lower skull area and in the top of the neck. So tension headaches and migraines I'm going to kind of use interchangeably here, but they're not exactly the same thing, not exactly the same process, but stress-wise, it is the same kind of concept I'm talking about. So you need to look at all of the things in your environment that are causing low levels of stress that stack up on top of each other that put you over that limit of like migraine or inflammation or general achiness or general fatigue that you can't get rid of. All those kind of chronic issues are going to be a stacked up amount of stress. So, for example, a lot of people have certain triggers. They'll use that word. If I go to a concert and it's a lot of loud, noise and volume, that's going to make sure I have a headache in the next day or two. Or an old lady walked by with a bunch of hairspray and crazy perfume on, and that just set off my allergies and I got a headache from that. Those are things that are extreme examples, but they bumped all of the low-level stuff up over the top. So you can do a lot of things productively, proactively in your environment to minimize those kind of stimuli in your own body care. You can use products like detergents that are unscented, and soaps and deodorants and lotions and shampoos that are all unscented or very low level of chemicals, of artificial synthetic chemicals that are adding stress to your body, your nervous system all the time. Because a lot of people don't even think about how many layers of products we use in our bodies every day, topically even, that overwhelms our body, our noses, our senses in the skin itself. So that's one example. Food, there's a lot of food triggers for migraines and stress and gastric dysfunction that are obvious. Some people drink too much coffee, or they don't have enough caffeine, or they have too much gluten, or everybody knows how their body reacts to certain foods, and then they'll have adverse effects if they, go binge on a big meal at a buffet or something, and then that'll set off a process where they're headachy or stomach achy, or they just feel bad for longer than they should, longer than the body's actually processing that one meal. This could last days or up to a week of trickle down from the one decision you made to eat that much pizza at the pizza buffet that gave you a lot of gluten and inflammatory nutrients. So the overall point of this is that you can control a lot of things in your environment that are going to help you handle stress in a better way. If you take out a lot of those low-lying things, low-hanging fruit, so to speak, that can lower your overall stress level, it's going to take more stress from one big event to bump you over that threshold and really put you into a bad place. So it's kind of a continuum that you have to be aware of what's going on to your body from the environment. Some people might call that mindfulness. That's a big keyword, buzzword in this concept. And the more of those you can identify and lower in your daily life, the better. You're going to find less pain and more ability to adapt to the stressors that you want to adapt to, that help you grow and keep you in that happy zone of growth and development and challenging you to do better without hurting you and punishing you when you don't do better. So we want to keep this on a positive direction instead of a punitive direction. So those are some thoughts about stress and stress awareness, and it is Stress Awareness Month. So keep that in mind and try to do some things that are going to help you progress in the right direction for what you want to do instead of what is happening to you in the world. You got to be proactive about stress. So thank you for listening, and we'll be in touch soon.